tell me if you don't feel this way. Like I think the best implementation of anything AI is it should be an assisting hand, not the driving hand. Yeah, and that's where I've seen, the sort of best implementation of it, where you kind of use it to sort of help, not give you the answer, not do the work for you. I mean, like, yes, okay, there's automation that can come in for certain things, but I think from what I've seen, particularly like, in the world of WFM is it should help guide you do things, not, yeah.
Oh, you go. I think it is a common theme in the new tech stuff as well as it comes out, right? So just take as an example, we were mentioning previously when machine learning first came out, buzzword, right? Everybody hopped onto it. But slowly as the industry progressed, like we found out that it's not machine learning itself that's important. Machine learning now can be written in like 3 to 5 lines of code. Yeah. It's the system and the environment around machine learning and the system design that became important. That bred new roles like ML ops, your data engineers and all that kind of thing. You're just building systems around machine learning, right? So I feel it's happening for AI as well. So AI, of course, now it's a buzzword. Everybody's hopping onto it. But we'll start to see companies, and we do see some companies really slowly building their systems around AI, whether it's their governance, their ethics, their processing and all that kind of stuff, and their decision making. So I think at least companies are going the right way, and we should let AI do the things that it's good at, and leave the important decisions to humans too.
Yeah.
I want to add, we're very passionate what we do, right? For us, when I look at modeling, analytics and whatnot, it's a mix of science and art, right? Imagine, I find a lot of design aspect, creativity, right? So I feel that's where we will evolve in the industry. We become more creative. How do we deploy? How do we utilize all these new technologies to do what we want to do, right? But ultimately, we should still be creative in creating the solutions that we need to provide to get better service, better bottom line, etc. So that I'm very passionate about. We still should hold the keys in how we utilize some of the technologies that's emerging.
Yeah. So no Skynet then?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet. Not yet.
But yeah, it's interesting. I think the actual best ones that I've seen is when they when they're trying not to replace something, they're just trying to make an aid. That's what I've seen.
When Terminator is your friend.
When Terminator is your mate, yeah. When Schwarzenegger is like helping you out, not shooting at you.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to move over now to, I think, the topic that's going to be the easiest to sort of talk about: challenges, problems. And I can already see some of your faces, and the PTSD is real. Yes, on my side as well. So I guess, look, outside of what we've seen, a lot of the reactiveness in the last sort of 5 years or so, what are the common challenges that you've seen outside of that, within sort of organizations, that from that very reactive move that, I think basically the whole world went on, right? To now, is there still challenges that are lagging there from there? And then, now we've got this entire rise of, of these massive data warehouses, right? And you've got AI now coming into play. What do you think those future challenges would then sort of lead on to as well? With their ghosts of the past, of course, so in mind.
I wrote an article about the sins of organization analytics, and I think regardless what phase will be, it's still going to be the same challenge, right? Underinvestment, right? Chasing the golden, the shiny things, and just the communication perspective between the business and the technicals, right? Those are always going to be the ongoing challenges, regardless of what phase we are. But I believe, if we're moving towards more data literacy and, just more advocacy in that area, it's going to slowly reduce, but it's always going to be there, right? Because companies going to be in different phases, different maturity level. But those three are always going to be the biggest challenge, in my opinion, in this area.
Do you think that it's, I mean, obviously, the rate that, sort of innovation is coming in, right? And it's exponential, like it's continuing and it continues to accelerate faster and faster every single year. Do you think that anyone can ever solve that? Or even keep up with that? Like I mean, last year was like, okay, you had these things, and then it's like now, this year it's like we're only in March, right? And it's like I feel like it's like, can we solve with this? Is this ever going to be solved? Like, I mean, how the hell do tech vendors even sort of keep up with this? And okay, let's say they do, then the end consumer, the organization at the end of it, how do they deal with that?
I don't think that keeping up with it is healthy or possible, actually. I think the best outcomes come when people do not try to keep up with it, right? Because they have a good filter on what's useful and what's appropriate for them and their team and their business and whatever. As opposed to just sprinkling AI or
database.
And this is sort of a common theme in a lot of big vendors that I see, right? When AI came out, you see the AI assistant everywhere. Whether or not you need it,
I know,
it's just at the corner, this corner, it's just AI assistants, right? I mean, if it doesn't cost too much, easy to implement, go ahead, right? Why not, right? But for like smaller businesses who are a bit more constrained, this is where Phil comes in, right? Like the budget, we were saying this kind of thing, under investment, you need to be smart about what you try to keep up with and try to implement, as opposed to just, keeping up for the sake of keeping up, right? We're not trying to run a TikTok account or something. We're trying to get things done, right? So
yeah. Absolutely.
But analogy in like normal life, right? Keeping up with Jones is like will burn you out. So it's the same. It isn't the same as organization. So I think everyone should have their own target, their own journey. If you stay true to your maturity, we're all going to get there. Like we don't all need to get there now, right? I think pivoting and whatnot is what delays a lot of organization to getting to the final destination, because some organization might not need the most elite tech to get that bottom line lowered, right? Ultimately, the goal should be lowering your bottom line, increasing your customer satisfaction, right? And getting a better product out there. Like that should be the goal, not keeping with the Joneses.
Yeah, I've always been kind of like, if you go with reputable tech stack and you go with a reputable organization that sort of, have built and you build your infrastructure around that, you'll somewhat still implement the best practice, and you can kind of lean on, some of these sort of, platforms to kind of, provide that acceleration there for you, like safely as well, so you're not doing this random pivot like, it's ChatGPT today and then tomorrow is Gemini, and it's, okay, we have to now completely shift our code, over to something else. But, okay, because I know we could talk about this.
But that gives us a job, right? So
yes, absolutely. Both our sides. So okay. Now, should businesses say larger, say financial institutions, right? Should they be looking towards, these sort of bigger sort of player platforms to try to, get into bed with, or should they go down the thing of trying to build it yourself, right? And this is an interesting one because I have, opinions of it, and to me, it always, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, I don't know.
So the argument between off the shelf and bespoke, right?
That's
a hard one.
Well, here's the thing, right? So from what I see in Techland now, that, I think, and it's a very good thing. I think a lot of technology providers have gone away from trying to provide a fully off the shelf, non-customizable. It's now kind of become like, kind of like it's a hybrid. Like, hey, you can do this, but you can also go and build your own stuff as well and kind of use it sort of in tandem. Versus the, hey, I can build this all myself. And I've got John, who's the data scientist. And he can write it. And then he goes on holidays. What do we do now?
Box. What you press?
So I guess, what's what's your opinion of this? It's
I think a lot of tech companies are doing very good with what they're building in the system, right? And it's really leaning on their strengths, right? It depends what their strengths are. Like there's no real point building something bespoke every time, right? But to what you mentioned, there needs to be some level of customization, right? Because not all businesses are the same, right? But if there is functionality in the program to do it, use it, right? And then use the data that comes out of it. Yeah, like I think that's where you pick the strengths, right? Because if let's just say if a system can do speech like recognition and all that and categorization, do it there. Don't pull a Python library and do that on top, right? And need to worry about maintenance of all the configuration. So like if there is something out of the box in a particular tech program that can do it, use it. Then use the data out of it to do what you need to do. I think that's the best compromise.
He said a lot of things, but the key things, if anybody's watching, the key thing, building stuff is really easy. Maintaining stuff is really hard. Right? So that's
John on holidays.
John on holidays.
John's on holidays. What do you mean? Thumbs down. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's the most traumatizing. Like it's still even today. I'll go on deployments and I'll hear that, and I'm like, no, stop. What are you doing? Don't do this. You don't have to. No one wants this. You don't want this. So, okay, all right. Let me.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for coming on.